Braves country.
Good morning. How the hell are you, Braves country? We are back Friday, July 16th, 2021. And big news in Braves country, huh? We've got Jock Pederson heading to the Atlanta Braves. We all know he can't replace, but he is going to try his best to fill in for the injured Ronald Acuna Jr., who, since the last time we saw you, last time we talked, Ronald Acuna Jr. torn ACL is out for the season. Hurt himself in on Saturday, and brutal loss for the Atlanta Braves as we look forward to what's going on here in the month of July. About 2 weeks away from the trading deadline, the Atlanta Braves make their first move. We'll see if they kind of sit and wait and see what this does to help the team. But I will say this, if the Atlanta Braves fans expect Atlanta to make moves, they're going to have to play good baseball over the next week or so, because they're not going to gut their farm system if this team isn't playing well. 4 games out of first. They're a half game behind the Phillies, 4 behind the Mets, 2 games in front of Washington, 44 and 45 on the season, so 89 games in. So that means you've got 73 to go, well over halfway through the season, and away we go. So they've got the Tampa Bay Rays coming into town to face Atlanta. Michael Wacha will be on the hill tonight for Tampa. Charlie Morton for the Atlanta Braves. Now, the one concern that I will say we need to keep an eye on today is with the Yankees busting out with their COVIDness, and 3 players tested positive. The rumor is that all 3 players have been vaccinated. Now, whether or not that's true or not, who knows? These are medical records. But if that is the case, hopefully those players will be okay, and Major League Baseball is being overly cautious. But remember, during the All-Star break, there was video of Freddie Freeman and Aaron Judge hanging out around each other. Aaron Judge is one of the guys with COVID. Now, we all know that Freddie's had COVID, and we know that he's been vaxxed. But if he tests positive, then they're going to flip out and overreact to something that's essentially, someone put it best on Twitter yesterday. They said, if you keep testing, you're going to keep finding. And that's kind of like the way a lot of people believe in this. Now, they're like, this is something that we should be past at this point in the sports world. If you've been vaxxed, you shouldn't be under scrutiny for these ridiculous tests. And it wasn't a test that came back. It was it was their protocols for what do you call it? The contact tracing, which, I mean, good God, I thought we would have gotten rid of that stupid term. But going forward this weekend, hopefully Freddie Freeman's okay. Hopefully he can play. Hopefully there's no issues. The Braves will send Morton to the mound today. Tomorrow it's Max Fried. They have not announced the Tampa Bay starter yet. And then on Sunday, it's going to be Rich Hill versus Drew Smyly. Now, Saturday could be a bullpen game because the Tampa Bay Rays are known to do that quite a bit. But Drew Smyly versus Rich Hill. The reasoning for not seeing Ian Anderson is because a couple of issues. He had the right shoulder tightness in his last start. He appears to be fine, but they were planning on pushing him back anyway, since he was the last big name to pitch. Of the big guys, he was the last to pitch, so they were going to push him farther back, give him a little more rest. So regardless, this has nothing to do with that tightness. They were not planning on having him pitch this weekend, anyways. You say, man, well, we're sure need them. We're going to need them. We're playing the Rays. Well, remember something. Come Monday, got to play San Diego. This is a tough stretch for the Atlanta Braves. They play 3 with the Rays, 4 with the Padres, all in Atlanta, and then they hit the road. I said 4. I meant 3 versus the Padres. The 2 night games and then the Wednesday day game. Then they're going to hit the road, and they will be on the road at Philadelphia for a 4-game set next weekend. So this is a tough road. And then when they come off of that, they're going to be on the road once again, no days off during the stretch at the New York Mets for, it looks like a 4-game series. And so they will not have a day off until it looks like, unless you get some kind of a goofy rainout or something like that. The Atlanta Braves, starting today, will not have a day off until Monday, August 2nd. It's a long stretch to go without a day off, and that is a long stretch against very good teams playing the Rays starting today, the Padres, the Phillies, and the Mets. That is a long stretch, a critical stretch for the Atlanta Braves, who play 1 game under 500. I think for them to be fairly aggressive, they're going to have to be about 500 or better, somewhere in that neighborhood. And when you're chasing teams down like this, the first thing that you're looking at is what? Well, what are the New York Mets going to be doing? Well, the New York Mets get to play the Pittsburgh Pirates. So they are in Pittsburgh. Hopefully Pittsburgh can give them a hard time like they gave Atlanta a hard time a few weeks ago. But they are in Pittsburgh. And then after that, you look at the Mets schedule. They're at the Reds. They're at home against the Blue Jays. I said 4. It's actually a 5-game series against the Mets in late July, because one of them is that the makeup for the postponement. So we forgot about that. But at Pittsburgh, at Cincinnati, at home against the Blue Jays, at home against the Braves for 5, and then they'll be at home against the Reds. So the Reds are playing pretty good baseball. The Blue Jays are definitely playing pretty good baseball. It's the Pirates right now. What we hope for is that the Pirates will give the Mets all they want this weekend. In a perfect world, the Pirates win the series, but I would even take the Pirates winning one of these 3 games, because after that, when you're at the Reds, Blue Jays, Braves are going to have their own opportunity. And then when you come out of that 5-game series with the New York Mets on July 29th, it'll end around 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern. When you come out of there with 2 days left before the trading deadline, you're going to have a very good barometer to know if you can be aggressive or not. So we may not see the Braves make another major move until then. If they do, you would think that the move would be made prior to the Mets series, because you want to get whoever it is you're making the trade for on your team heading into that 5-game series. I'm thinking more of like a shutdown reliever, a closer, if not a closer, then a very good back end guy. So there you have that. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. With everything going on, hopefully Jock Pederson comes into a huge round of applause tonight. We expect Truist to be rocking, and I think the Atlanta Braves will find a way to win this series. They have the pitchers on the mound for it. I think a little injection of excitement with Pederson coming to Atlanta, which, by the way, was one of the guys that I was wanting in free agency last year. If people remember this, when we were talking about this back in free agency, I was very, very big on Jock Pederson because I knew he was going to be cheaper, and I really wanted to see if the Braves could sign him. And when the Cubs signed him for what was right at $7 million, I thought it was an absolute steal. So hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can produce. He's had more plate appearances this year with the Chicago Cubs than he has the last several combined with the Dodgers. So he's showing that he can hit against left-handed pitching, excuse me. The Dodgers just have always been that deep for the last few years where they could plug and play and basically play the matchups. Jock Peterson should play pretty regularly. I'm sure from time to time they're going to give him days off with the depth that they do have in the outfield with the Monte and Heredia, etc. All right, we'll see you Monday. Go Braves. Give them hell, by God, and welcome to Braves country, Jock Peterson.
You're in Braves country.